Hey guys, due to popular demand, I am going over my skincare routine. So in this video, I'm going to be doing my morning skincare routine. I actually just woke up, I made myself some coffee, and I figured let me just go ahead and do my entire routine on camera for you guys. So just some quick background notes about me. I am 45 going on 46. I have dry, sensitive, eczema-prone skin. I've suffered from eczema since like mid to late high school years, like 15, 16, I want to say I started getting really bad eczema on my lip, my eyes, my forehead, pretty much everywhere. And all the eczema was different depending on like which skin it was on. It was very annoying. And then I want to say my eczema has been under control. It still pops up here and there, but it's basically been under control for the past 5 to 7 years. I want to say starting in my mid-30s, I started to see like my eczema start to calm down. My skin has always been a little bit on the angry side. Sometimes I refer to it as the Hulk. So that is my skin type. Things that I look for in skincare products, moisturizing, hydrating, words like that always pop out to me. And the things that I have to stay away from because of my eczema are any kind of acids. I have historically stayed away from like essential oils, although I feel like, again, my skin has become a little bit more resilient over the past few years, and I've kind of toyed around with some essential oils here and there, but I don't use products like that like every day. So that's where I'm coming from. Every time I've done a skincare routine or my favorite skincare products or any videos relating to skincare, people have always asked like, oh, you don't use acids, you don't use this, you don't use that, or whatever. And I can't. I just can't use any kind of chemical acids to kind of like resurface my skin because my eczema would just come out screaming. My skin is so sensitive. I would probably look like a burn victim for a couple of weeks. So I have to stay away from products like that. I'm not going to get into exfoliation in today's video. I'll probably talk about that in my evening or PM skincare routine video, which is coming up. Definitely subscribe below if you're into skincare videos. But I use like physical exfoliants. I don't use like chemical exfoliants, things like that. So this is the perspective that I'm coming from, and I just wanted to kind of get that out there before we got into the products that I use in the morning time. All right, so first up is cleanser, and I like to use a very moisturizing cleanser. Moisturizing and hydrating, those are two words you're going to hear a lot of in this video. So I have been using the Kypris Cleansing Concentrate. It comes in a jar like this, and it has a very creamy, almost like lotion-like texture. And this is a brand that I have been playing around with, I want to say the past 6 to 8 months, and every time I kind of try another product of theirs, I just fall in love with the line more and more. So I think I'm going to do a dedicated video to this brand, not sponsored or anything like that, just because I've tried about 6 or 7 products from their line and I love them all. So I'm going to go into much further detail in that video. But I just want to mention a few facts about the brand. They're made in the USA. They're an American brand. They use like organic, wildly crafted ingredients. And none of the products from them that I've used so far have like irritated my very, very sensitive skin. So I've been very happy with their products. So this cleanser concentrate is something that I will use in the mornings. I'll scoop out about this much of the product. And what I'll do is I'll just start to massage it into my skin. I'll leave a link down in my description box to all of the products that I'm using. And if you're interested, you can go and look up all the like different ingredients in here, because especially for these Kypris products, there's a lot of active ingredients. And I'm not gonna bore you with just kind of rattling off ingredients here. So I just work this into my skin, and I work it onto dry skin. I don't wet my skin generally before I use cleanser. I will sometimes use this in the shower, and what I'll do is I'll put this on before I jump in the shower, and then I'll jump in the shower and rinse it off. But sometimes if I need to wash my face before I'm ready to shower for that day, I will just do this at my sink, and I'll take a muslin cloth. I will wet this, and then I'll basically just wipe it off of my face. I picked up these muslin cloths just off of Amazon. I can link to that down below also. Very inexpensive. I think I got a pack of 10. I probably got like 2 of them just so I have a nice rotation. Because once I use it, I kind of put it aside, I let it dry, and then I throw it into my hamper. I don't really use these more than once just because it ends up with so much gunk on it. So that's what I'll use as cleanser. And what I love about this cleanser is I love the scent. I don't think there's any added fragrance, but the scent is so, like all of the Kippers products, it's so spa-like. It just smells so fresh and so clean. But this is one of those cleansers that is very moisturizing. It feels great on the skin, but it definitely leaves my skin feeling clean. I can't use moisturizers that are so moisturizing that it doesn't feel like I did anything. It just feels like I put lotion on. And then of course, conversely, I don't like cleansers that make my skin feel too clean and too dry. This is like right in the middle. Like my skin does not feel dry, but it also doesn't feel like there's any film left over or anything like that. It just feels really clean and refreshed. So I have really been enjoying this product from them. And then after that, and what I've been told by a facialist over at the Sicily counter when I was over there once at our Saks Fifth Avenue, I asked her, just straight out, maybe this was a year and a half ago at this point, I said, what exactly is toner for? Is it just another step for cleansing? And she said, it is meant to balance out your pH. And she basically said, anytime you introduce water onto your skin, you need to tone it afterwards. So if you've washed it and you've rinsed it off with some water, you need to tone. Otherwise, if your skin isn't balanced pH-wise, it's not going to accept and absorb all the other skincare that you're going to use. It's not going to accept it readily. So the toner that I love is the La Mer the Tonic. And I tried using the Sicily Floral Toning Lotion. That one was lovely, but I felt like it was just a teensy bit more astringent than this. It just felt like the smallest hint tighter on my skin. And again, because I have dry and sensitive skin, I don't like that feeling at all. And I've tried other toners where they're a little too moisturizing. Like I feel like it leaves a little bit of a film on my skin. I'm not a fan of that either. This one for me really just leaves my skin feeling very, very balanced. So what I will do is just take a little cotton pad. These are those Shiseido cottons. I'll just make sure I have the cotton pad fairly damp, and then I'll just lightly graze that all over my skin. So this has like a nice cooling effect, but like I just mentioned, it doesn't leave my skin tight at all. It just makes my skin feel really, really soothed, calm. And what I've also been told is if you have, a little bit of extra toner left over, like your face still feels, pretty wet or damp, you don't want to wipe it away. You really want it to sink in and let it do its thing. And what I've been advised to do is if you are kind of in a rush or you want to kind of rush the process along, you can just start to kind of pat it in or rub it into your skin, but don't ever like wipe it away, which would kind of be a waste anyway. So that's the toner that I use, the La Mer the Tonic, and you'll see this again in my evening skincare routine video. And then my next step is I like to use the Sicily Essential Skincare Lotion. So this is supposed to like pave the way and allow your skin to absorb and accept all of the other skincare products that are about to come, like your serums, your oils, things like that. So this kind of goes deep into your skin, and so it has like kind of a thin texture so that it can be absorbed fairly easily. So here is the texture. You can see that running down my hand pretty quickly. And I just use one pump, rub it around my fingers, and then I just pat and like swipe it on. And this is another product that I just use all over my face and down my neck. So this was a product that I had a lot of like big samples for, these deluxe samples for, and I probably had like 4, 5, 6 of these laying around. And so I was using it, and I was like, oh, this is nice. My skin feels really nice or whatever. And I got down to this last bottle and I thought, oh, well, let me save it for travel. So I stopped using this product altogether, and I actually felt a difference. Sometimes I'm not so sure whether or not a skincare product is working for me. A lot of people, I feel like their feedback is, oh, I saw a difference, right away, or I could feel a difference right away, or, within the first week I saw and felt a difference. For me, a lot of the time when it comes to skincare, maybe you guys are the same, it'll be when I stop using the product. So I'll add it into my skincare routine. I'll notice that it doesn't do anything negative to my skin. That's the first thing that I always look for. I'm like, am I going to react to it? Is it going to bring on my eczema? Does it cause melia? All these things. And if it doesn't, then it's like, okay, then I start to try and focus on the positive. And then sometimes it's like, it's hard sometimes to really tell the difference, even if I take pictures or whatever. And then it's only when I stop using it do I then feel like, oh, I miss it. Like what is it that I miss? And for this, I definitely feel like my skin is much more hydrated and plump. And from the description of this product, I don't think it's this directly. I think it's that it actually allows all of my other products to work more efficiently. So once I stopped using these like deluxe sample sizes, notice the difference, I just went ahead and purchased the big bottle. So this is the step that I do after my toner. So next is my serum and my oil, and a lot of people always ask me, you know, what order do I do things in? I think a general rule of thumb when it comes to skincare is you want to go from thinnest to thickest. So you want to go from like oils and serums over to creams. So how it was explained to me is that oils and serums are products that are to help your skin's health, like underneath the dermis, underneath your actual surface skin. And then creams and moisturizers are meant to actually help the dermis of your skin, the actual surface area of your skin. So that's why you want to use the thinner products, because they're supposed to, you know, they're meant to penetrate deep down below under the surface of your skin and kind of help your skin in that way. So the serum and the oil that I've been using in the mornings is the Kypris Antioxidant Dew. This is the serum that I use. And then I use the Beauty Elixir 1000 Roses oil. I actually mix these two together and apply it to my face at the same time. And again, I'm going to do a dedicated video to Kypris because I really, really love their products. So with the Antioxidant Dew, what I will do is use about 5 drops of this, and you can see that it's fairly runny, just like that. And then I will add 2 drops of the Beauty Elixir. This is a very dense, thick oil. So that is all that I need. And then I have the concoction in my hand here, and I just kind of swirl it all together and then pat and swipe it onto my skin. And I put this everywhere: eyes, face, neck. I'll leave the extra for my hands. Everywhere. I like using these 2 products particularly during the daytime because I find that they absorb into my skin fairly quickly. I don't have to sit there and wait for it to absorb. Because, you know, you want to get on with your day. You want to be able to put makeup on. And I find that this absorbs fairly quickly. It's like light in texture. It has never interfered with my makeup. So again, 2 more products from Kypris that I'm a big fan of. And there's a bunch of serums that they have. I think they have 3 of them, all in this beautiful blue bottle. And this one that I have, the Antioxidant Dew, is for hydration, and same with this particular Beauty Elixir. And I think there's 3 of these as well. You're meant to kind of like pick and mix and match which ones you want to use together. And this combo has been working for me. The difference that I've seen in my skin since using these 2 products is that I used to have, or still a little bit, have like a lot of red blotchiness here along my jawline, the lower half of my face. And this seems to have really, really calmed it down. And in general, I feel like it's really calmed down my skin. It's really very soothing, and I have angry Hulk-like skin, and it really hasn't been very angry lately. I find that this helps my skin become like less reactive. It's really been almost like a very good like therapy for my skin. When I first purchased this, I was using it. I liked it. I thought my skin felt really great. But again, it was like I had to stop using it to see the difference. So I went on a trip, and because these are glass bottles, I did not bring them with me. And I was away for probably, I think it was like a week or so, didn't use it, and I felt the difference. And I thought, gosh, I can't wait to get home and get back to this combo. And when I did, my skin again felt like it was just calmed and soothed. And I really have not traveled without this ever since. I have to use a lot of bubble wrap when I travel with these, but it's worth it. So that is the Antioxidant Dew from Kypris and the 1000 Roses Beauty Elixir number 1. So next up is a step that I don't do all the time, and I only do if I feel like I have a major issue or if I have the time to do it because it just feels so good. And that's an eye mask. So I use an eye mask in the morning and not at night because for me it's about puffiness. And when I wake up and my eyes just look a little extra puffy, or again, if I have time to do it, I will pull out an eye mask. So I just recently, I thought this was kind of crazy, but I had been seeing this a lot on Instagram, and I thought, you know what, I just have to get one. So this is a mini Kululi little refrigerator, and I keep all of my masks in here. Let me see if I can open this up without hitting myself in the face. So there are some face and eye masks in there, and I have to say, it actually works really, really well. So I used to keep all of my masks downstairs in my kitchen's refrigerator. I just kept it in the door. And because it was downstairs, I always just either forgot about them or ended up not using them, or whatever the case is. So I thought, let me just perform an experiment on myself, purchase this little guy, put my masks in here, and see if I actually use it, keep it up here or whatever. And I have. This has really been awesome. I would not be using the masks that I use as often as I do now if it weren't for this little guy. So just wanted to mention this. So awesome. And I purchased that off of Amazon. Again, I'll link it down below if you're interested at all. But I'm not going to do the eye mask today only because it has to sit there for a while, and I just want to film this video. But the one that I have been loving, and I tried a lot of eye masks because the issue that I have with my eyes, I have fine lines and things, and I have a little bit of discoloration, but the main issue I have with my eyes is puffiness, and it just really makes me crazy. So the one eye mask that I have found, and you saw in there, I have quite a few. The one eye mask that I have found that really relieves my eyes of puffiness, not just temporarily, because that's the issue that I find with most eye masks, that especially if they're cool, because the cooling sensation will automatically kind of depuff your eyes. But I'll put them on, I'll take them off, and I'll think, oh, my eyes look pretty good. But by midday, they kind of look a little puffy again. The next morning, puffy again. And the only eye mask that I have found that actually depuffs my eyes all day into the next day, sometimes into the third day, depending on what I've eaten, is the Sicily Eye Contour Mask. And I have a bunch of these sample packets. So I'm going through these. I am definitely going to be purchasing a full size of this when I run out of all of my little sample packs. But it's great. It's like this really thick kind of texture, slightly gel-like, but not too overly jelly. It's really more of like a cream, and you just put kind of like a thick layer underneath your eyes, and you just let it sit there for 10 minutes, and you just tissue it off. And it instantly makes my eyes look less puffy. I look more awake. It really does help with the fine lines. It really moisturizes the area around my skin. I'm going to put a before and after picture up now of the other day when I used it, and I hope you can see the difference. It's really difficult to get an accurate picture of the effects, but I could see the difference, and I can see the difference in the pictures. I just hope you guys can too. So this is the point in my routine where I will use an eye mask. This is kind of before I moisturize. All right, so in terms of moisturizer, I will use a face cream and an eye cream. And the eye cream is definitely the step that I will not do. If I'm feeling lazy, if I am pressed for time, this is the one thing that I'll cut out of my routine, and I'll just use my face cream all over. So for face cream, I love the Sicily Velvet Nourishing Cream with saffron flowers. It has the most beautiful texture, and you probably can't see that on screen, but it's very pudding-like. It's thick without being too dense. And if you guys are familiar with like the original La Mer cream, that is thick and dense. So this is, I want to say, just as thick, but not as dense. And so it absorbs into the skin a little bit more quickly. And that's why I like using it during the day. But it is incredibly, incredibly moisturizing. It just feels so good on my skin, and it smells amazing. I don't think it's fragranced. I think it's just the saffron that I'm smelling. It's so faint. It's so light. Oh, but it's so beautiful. I just love it. And then the eye cream that I like to use is also by Sicily. I have a lot of Sicily products in here, don't I? I do. Is the Sicily Eye and Lip Contour Cream. And I was a little bit worried about this cream when I first got it because it is very thick. As you can see, it's like not moving in here at all. And I thought, I hope it doesn't give me milia. I suffer from milia quite a bit around my eyes. I am very careful about the products that I use around my eyes. So I started using this very, very lightly. I'll use maybe that much for each eye, top and bottom. And it's worked out really, really well for me. And I love that this really rich cream isn't actually very heavy. As soon as you start to spread it out on your skin, it feels cooling. It starts to thin out very, very quickly, and you can feel it absorb really quickly. It's really, really interesting. I really thought this was going to be a cream that like sat on top of my skin, that maybe even interfered with my eye makeup, and it really doesn't. It's just very, very smooth. It's silky. It absorbs fairly quickly. And I have seen definitely a difference in fine lines. I was starting to get a little bit of the crinkles over here, which is fine. You know, I'm not opposed to wrinkles. We all get them. We're all aging. It's okay. But if I can soften up their appearance, I'm all for it. And this definitely has softened up any kind of fine lines that I've had kind of popping up at the corners of my eyes. So I really, really enjoy this. Again, all the products that I'm using really for very, very dry skin. I know some people have like oily eyelids. They have dry skin, but like oily eyelids. I have dry skin everywhere. My eyelids are dry, my under eyes are dry, every part of my face, except for maybe this part of my nose, is dry. So again, just take that into consideration as you listen to all the products that I use. And finally, protection. So I use the All Day All Year from Sisley. This has UVA, UVB protection, so this will definitely protect your skin from a little bit of sunlight. However, the woman at the Sisley counter said that it has a very, very light protection against the sun. So if you're going to be out and have a lot of exposure to the sun, to actually put on an SPF, that this is just kind of light everyday kind of wear. Like if you're just going to be in your car, you're just going to be out and about, like for little like minutes at a time, that the UVA, UVB protection in here is good enough. It's got you covered for those instances. But again, not if you're going to be out for a long time. One of the main reasons why I use this product and where I've seen the most difference is it kind of diminishes my hyperpigmentation and sunspots. So I've been using this product probably for maybe almost a year, 9 months. I'll say I've been using this for 9 months. And I've noticed that the sunspots that I had over here have totally diminished. I have a couple over here. These two seem to be a little stubborn, but all the ones that I had around them are definitely fading. And I had tried a couple other products. I can't even remember which ones. Maybe one from like Dr. Murad. I tried like spot treatments to kind of help with the hyperpigmentation, but those products actually make my skin very sensitive, and this doesn't do any of that. So I am going to continue using this because I think even for a product like this, using it for 9 months, it's really not that much of a test. I'm going to continue using it. I haven't even used that much of it. I just use half pump. That's it. And I put it over, my forehead where I want it. And this is something that you don't want to massage into your skin because it is a protective layer. So I just kind of swipe it over my entire face, and that's it. This is also meant to reduce, fine lines and wrinkles and things like that. I want to say for the fine lines around my eyes, because that's where I experience fine lines the most, I feel like I've seen more of a difference with the actual eye cream. If I am going to be out, maybe if I'm going to the dog park, if I'm planning on taking my dog for like a really long walk or something like that, I will put on some SPF. So there's 2 SPFs that I like to use on my face. The Chantecaille primer, I think I just mentioned this in my favorites or another video of mine, but this has an SPF 45, and this is a chemical sunscreen. And historically, physical sunscreens have always irritated my skin. They will give me a rash, they'll break me out, I'll get little bumps. My skin will just react to it. And so as much as I would prefer to wear physical sunscreen, or have always preferred to wear physical sunscreen, I have opted for chemical sunscreen because for some reason that doesn't bother my skin. So this Chantecaille is definitely a great option for me, and it has SPF 45. But what I have been using just over the past week, I'm gonna keep using this, and again, I'm gonna do a dedicated video to Kypris, and I will talk about this more in depth then. But this is the Pot of Shade Heliotropic Broad Spectrum SPF 30, and it uses zinc oxide. So this uses a physical sunscreen, and like I said, I've been using this for the past week, and my skin hasn't reacted to it at all. It goes on really smoothly. It's very, very hydrating. It does act as a very, very nice base if you have dry skin. So far, that's the conclusion I've come to because it is incredibly moisturizing. I think if you have oilier type skin, this may be a little bit too much. It is it's very moisturizing. So again, look out for that video dedicated to Kypris, but this has not bothered my sensitive skin at all. And I am so happy. I'm like so impressed. So that is the Pot of Shade Heliotropic. All right, that is my very simple morning skincare routine. I actually don't think it's that bad. Of course, it seems like it takes so much longer as I'm talking through each step. I will definitely be doing an evening skincare routine. Some of these things, like these two things, are the same in that one, but the serums and the oils and the moisturizer, all that stuff is different. I don't put on sun protection at night, so that is definitely a little bit different. Tune into that if you are interested. I'll try and get that up maybe over the next week. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please comment down below what some of your favorite skincare products are. I would love to hear from you. And subscribe down below if you haven't already. I'll see you in my next video.